If I don't want something done by the government, that doesn't mean I don't want it done. The fact that I don't want every child fed by a state or national agency doesn't mean I don't want children to be fed. But maybe a private organization, maybe a charity, maybe some nonprofit, maybe family, maybe mothers and fathers can feed children just as good, if not better. The fact that I don't want it done by the government doesn't mean I don't want it done. In fact, the opposite. When government takes over, it becomes bureaucratic. It becomes non-value, and value from the market is removed. I would instead rather people volunteer to do it, want to help. Let's not take the responsibility away from the individual. Let's put the responsibility back on the individual. They'll take it more seriously. It won't be bureaucratic. It'll be more effective, and it'll bring value to the market.
Hey, everybody, it is Libertarians Live Special Midnight Edition. Yes, that's what it is. Here in New York City, it's past midnight. We went long for the convention. I'm so happy that, one part of it's over at least. I'm happy about that at least. And today I have with me someone who I met a while ago, came to visit me in New York City, sat with me in a diner, brought his family and friends when he did. Talked to me again a couple times back and forth. I'm so happy to have him here. The man himself, running for VP, Ken Armstrong. How are you, sir?
Hey, Larry, and I love that intro video that you do. That just really, that nails it. That's such sweet stuff.
Thank you. I actually put that together, coincidentally, 4 years ago when I was running for VP. Yes. That's when I put it all together. Absolutely. So I'm very glad you brought someone with you, though. I'm being rude. Who was with you, Ken?
My gorgeous wife, Dawn, my much, much better half.
Very nice. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate that tremendously. So tell me, what did you think of today? I mean, was it what you expected, not what you expected? What you think?
I think by the time we got to today, we had a sense of the direction things were going in.
Yes.
And I think, I've been saying this for quite a long time. Whoever the party nominates, we need to be excited about that person.
Yes.
The past is in the past. I know, you and Jim were certainly looking for a different result today, but I know you're such great gentlemen. Today, we are all Joe Jorgensen fans, and we're all about supporting the Joe campaign.
I got her in behind me. Absolutely. Yes. Look, I've done this more than once, right? Last year, when I lost last year for the VP, literally, I waited about an hour. I took a quick nap, got back up, and went downstairs and ran a fundraiser for him. What are you going to do?
There you go.
Wow.
We are still libertarians. We got to rock and roll to the best of our ability. We got to keep doing that. Absolutely. So let me ask you, I mean, you see what's happening now. What do you think the future looks like? Do you have, if you got to look into your crystal ball, what do you think?
Well, imagine this. I mean, I think Trump and Biden are going to do their very best to never be seen with the Libertarian candidate because you've got this smart, attractive, younger woman on the stage between two old perverts who, it's not going to be a good look for them. And and to put a smart person like Joe Jorgensen on the stage, she's going to mop them up. So I think the future is going to be a lot of fights to get her into the public square.
Yes.
But everywhere she does it, I think she's going to come up roses.
Yeah, I think that really is, right? I mean, the issue is we do want to make sure we get her into the public and get the press, right? Because the bigger issue that we're going to have here is how in the world are we going to get her out there when we still have COVID and people afraid and all that kind of stuff, right? That's going to be very difficult for us to do. But I do think if we can get her out there, she can, knock it out of the park here or there. I mean, I know you want to be the VP. What's your view on how that should work? I mean, do you have an opinion either way on what we should be doing?
Well, you know, mean in terms of who we should be nominating? Yeah, me.
Well, I didn't mean that. Obviously, I'm with you. I agree. What I'm saying is, if now you're the nominee, how do we make that? What's your role? How about that? What's your role when you get nominated? Now it's it's a Jorgensen Armstrong ticket. What's your role?
Well, the first thing I've got to do is talk to the candidate, the presidential candidate, and have her identify where she wants me to fit into her campaign. But beyond that, I bring the experience that we've been talking about for the last year, the understanding of government, the background, and I can talk to people that she can't talk to, just as she can talk to people I can't. So what we need to do is identify our target audiences and get out there and do the very best job that we can do, play the best ground game. Right now, it's going to be a lot of virtual ground game, but the minute they open the gates, we're out there and we're going to be just beating the ground to raise awareness about what a great candidate Joe Jorgensen is.
That's good. I like that. I like that. Do you think there's a specific spin we need? I mean, I guess, you bring up the idea of her being a woman. Does that make sense? I mean, I don't want to play identity politics. I don't. But I also got to be real. There is going to be a big difference between her and them. I mean, and we can't just ignore that. So how do we find that balance of not being identity politics, but saying, guys, look, there's a difference. How do we find that balance?
I think the balance is going to speak for itself. I don't think that, we have to point out all of those differences. I think they are going to speak for themselves. But I think the American people, pardon me, I just got something in my eye that I'm having. I think the American people are well aware that they're looking at two people who've got some serious problems. Two old white guys who've got some serious problems. They're I don't want to throw rocks at their age, but I think that they're past their prime in terms of having an edge. And
but it isn't age; it's mental acuity.
And I think that's the point. I really think that they've lost their edge. And I think that they've got a lot of baggage. Joe is a very wholesome candidate, and
yes, it's very true.
She's going to appeal to the American people. But we don't have to point that kind of stuff out. When Barack Obama ran for president, he didn't run around saying, "Elect me because I'm an African American." A lot of people were excited that we finally could elect an African American, even though a lot of people weren't very excited about that particular person. They were excited that the country could do it. And I think that there are a lot of people, it's going to generate a buzz and an excitement that we can elect a woman. And then when they hear her speak, and then when they find out what an intelligent woman she is.
That she's not just a woman, that she's actually a special person.
She put together a great business. She's got the academic credentials. The woman is just smart and good. And I think that's the icing on the cake. So I think that she's going to campaign well. And I think that the red and blue team are going to do their very best to make sure that their media cronies ignore Joe as much as they possibly can. We're going to have to.
So let's go there for a second, Ken. I mean, this is a valid point. I think the thing the media does worse for us is not to attack us; it's to ignore us. Right? Attacking is actually better than ignoring us. At least they're talking about us, right? I remember when I was running in New York, and some Republicans got mad and tried to sling mud at me. In the long run, some of the people who were hardcore Republicans did walk away from me. That's true, but they drew so many more people to me that there was no effect. Actually, I got more people hardcore to me from their attacks, and so they learned that stop. It didn't work. So when they try to ignore her, and they are going to try to ignore her, how do we get her? What do you see as a way that we can get around? Or do you? Or what's your gut here?
Well, we got to do our best to draw attention to the, if you'll pardon the expression, elephant in the room, or maybe the jackass in the room. But we have to draw attention to the fact that we're being deliberately marginalized. We need to use that for our advantage. But I was when I was campaigning in Ohio last year, I had a reporter with a well-known outlet tell me, "We don't cover you because you're not relevant." And I said, "You're going to do your best to make sure we stay that way, aren't you?"
Yes.
And she didn't have an answer for that.
Yes.
We make friends in the media. Our LNC chair has done a good job cultivating some friends in the media. You have as well. This is the time for all of us to pull out all of the stops, to dig out. I was going to say our Rolodex, but that would tell you how old I am. But
I use the same phrase.
But to dig out our phone book and start sharing as much as we can with this campaign, every contact we possibly can, even if it's not a likely, even if it's just a possible. And we need to be making videos go viral and just doing everything that we can do.
You know, what you're talking about makes a lot of sense to me. And the other thing I start thinking about is we have to stop looking at the media like the enemy. And this is hard for us because we get so upset at them ignoring us that we make them the enemy. And what I always say is the media isn't the enemy, right? We should know what the media actually is. Their goal isn't to, hold on. The reason why we get angry is because we've decided that the media is supposed to be this amazing thing that enlightens people, that makes people understand. No, the media has one goal: to be seen. That's it. Their goal is to be seen. They're like any other TV show or any other radio show or any other magazine. Their goal is to be seen. If we understand that, and that ad revenue is what, really pushes them, then we have a better chance of actually making impact, right? The idea of saying, look, we'll be exciting or interesting so people will watch you, and then all of a sudden people will want you to come back, right? TV, radio, whatever, right? So I've actually already many places, I will actually be a guest host for people's radio shows. And when I'm a guest host, I'm exciting and bombastic and interesting. People go, oh, that guy was great. Boom. They want to come back. They want me to come back. So I think that's a way. My worry is, and I hope you can help. My worry is when I deal with people like Joe, teachers, lawyers, tech people, they can become very professorial, and that can be a problem. They got to be a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? A little bit more of that I'm savvy, I'm cool, not as much as I'm the smartest person in the room. And the hard part about Joe is she's often the smartest person in the room.
Yeah, true. We need to teach her to float like a butterfly and sting like a bee.
Absolutely.
Need to get that going there. But yes. You're right. She's got all of the smarts, and she is very personable. Being a grandmother, she knows how to talk to her grandkids. Yep. She's really personable in that way, and she just she'll find that rhythm that works for her in the public place. And then our job in our supporting roles, me hopefully as a vice presidential candidate, but whatever our supporting roles are, is to back up and fill in those spots that she isn't able to do, because none of us can do it all. Nobody can do it all. We're supposed to be a team.
I have already offered, if she needs me to be an advisor for something, I'm happy to do that. I've already offered my services to her if she needs it. I don't know if she does. I mean, she may already have that covered. I don't know who her team is, but if she needs it, I'm happy to step on board. Of course I am. Absolutely.
Larry Sharp, anybody who turns down an offer from you for advice or assistance is sticking a gun in their mouth.
Okay. Let's not go that far. But yes, thank you. I appreciate that. I do want to let her know, and right? If you wind up being her running mate tomorrow, I'm here, right? I'm here. Whatever I can do to help out. Look, we want to make as much impact as we possibly can this year. I don't know what that number is, Ken, to be forward with you. I don't know what COVID is going to do and what the wake of this is going to be, right? Obviously, Trump is going to try to blame China, and Biden's going to blame Trump, and everybody's going to blame everybody. And then is there going to be a second wave? Is there not going to be a second wave? And is the media going to turn on Trump? Is the media going to love Trump? What's going to happen there? I don't know. I mean, we might be struggling, and we might have a wide open opportunity for an amazing year. I don't know what's going to happen. Do you have a feeling either way on what you think is going to happen?
Well, we're coming out of a holiday weekend, so Monday won't be a big media day. Tuesday will be the beginning of the cycle. And I think we need to hit the ground running. with the fact that there's an exciting new candidate on the stage that most of the American people don't know, get busy introducing her, and yes, take advantage of the fact that we can point to the disasters, state and federal, that the governments have made of this COVID situation that didn't need to be this bad. It's this bad because the government has not done their job. And so, take advantage of that, move it robustly into the campaign with that message. And, Larry, I only know one speed, and that is I'm in it to win it. We've talked about the strategy before of busting the 270 and throwing it to Congress for, and all of that. And that would be a wonderful outcome if we ended up with a president elected by the House of Representatives. But I'm in it to get both of us all the way to see 270 on November 3rd.
It's amazing. It's amazing. You have no idea how much I hope you're right. I would love that you have to move into the Naval Observatory. Isn't that where the VP goes?
That's right.
Yeah.
You're back to the Navy again. See that? You head back to the seas. So yes. So yeah. But this is an important piece, and this is where I think you may shine where others may not, right? You've kind of been in that world of disaster preparedness. This is kind of your thing, right? And the other VPs don't have this, and we're in disaster. You kind of had the, if you're going to point the finger, there's some credibility behind your point, right? I can go, you guys are bad, and they go, who the hell are you? But when you go, you guys are bad, you've got some credibility here.
Yeah, I was pointing out the flaws in these things back when I was part of the system, and I was telling people the drug wars weren't working, disaster preparedness wasn't working. I got nominated for Federal Executive of the Year for my disaster preparedness work in the Port of Los Angeles. So that was a tough game. 24 or so state, federal, and local agencies that I coordinated. And a couple of years later, in 1994, they had an earthquake, the Northridge earthquake, where they actually used the plan that I put in place, and everyone was stunned that the disaster was so well handled by the government. So we know what we're doing, and if we put that stuff together, like I say, a campaign is a team. This is what the current president doesn't understand. He thinks that he's got to be the smartest person everywhere he goes.
Go about him.
Everything. And Jo is a humble person who knows how to work with the people that she's got. She's going to put together a team, and she'll have them do their jobs. And I'm just hoping I'm part of that team.
Well, you know what? The other part you bring is foreign policy, right? You were a NATO base commander, is that right?
And a U.S. consul representative.
There we go.
Yeah.
So you've got some of that foreign policy that, again, the other VPs, this is something they're not going to be able to bring to the table. You can bring this to the table. How do you think? I mean, it's obvious when it comes to the COVID crisis, right? But foreign policy is massively broad. I mean, there's just so much that you could talk about. Where do you think your pivotal piece might be?
Part of it, honestly, Larry, is understanding how complex it is. Because, like I said, one of the big problems is we expect people to have all the answers about everything.
Right.
Back when in 16, when Gary had the Aleppo slip, and all of us, we know that really wasn't a very big deal.
Right.
Even the person who asked the question said it really wasn't a very big deal. 99.9% of the people who watched that had no idea what Aleppo was.
They couldn't even find Syria on the map, not even Aleppo.
So exactly. So part of the thing that a person with a deep background in international affairs knows is that they don't know everything, and they don't try to wing it. When you go to another country, they are culturally different. Their business is vastly different. Even a close ally like Japan is so culturally different from the United States that I
lived there for 4 years.
That's right. I forgot about that. And
yes,
so you can't go over there and try to be bombastic Americans. That will go over like just not good stuff. I'm not going to say what I was going to say. It won't go over well. and the same is true. I lived in Italy, I've lived in Mexico, and they're wonderful countries and people I love. But you have to learn to be in their country and deal with
yes.
them. And so I think that's one of the things that I do bring to the table is my ability, plus a little bit of foreign language experience, a little bit of German, Italian, Spanish. That helps a little bit to get by.
Yeah. And it makes when you go to a foreign country and you try to speak a little bit of their language, it's just showing some respect, right? I respect that you're different, so let me try to be a little bit like you. Absolutely. I would say I'm really bad at like 6 languages.
Yeah.
Really bad at like 6, but terrible at all of them. But when I try, they go, "Oh, look at him. He's trying."
I've only been to one country that didn't respect me for trying to speak the language. Every place else that I've been, the fact that I was trying, that bought me some cred with people.
Was it Germany?
No, France.
France,
Paris.
really?
Most of France is wonderful, but in Paris, if you don't speak the language, just shut up.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, yes, because their language is magical. Yes, I got it completely.
Yep.
Yes, that's great. So I'm happy to hear those 2 things. That's great. The other issue, I guess, is do you think that your team is going to integrate well? Do you have a feeling on that now or no?
Well, I mean, we're already talking about it loosely. Just the fact, how it's really up to the presidential candidate to decide how the teams are going to fit together.
Right.
And we hope that she'll just marshal the forces together, kind of have a divisional approach, but just have us all work together. We bring some marvelous people with some great skills, and Paul Grindle and Tucker,
I know them well.
2 guys that, Tucker is
incredible
just,
guy.
He's only 22 years old. I think, he's one of triplets. And I think that's the thing is, when you're a twin or a triplet, you really got to be able to stand out or you're never going to get anywhere in life. And Paul Grindle is an amazing, he's just got an ability to keep an eye on all of the pieces and to understand how they all fit together. He's fabulous at bringing a team together. And so
I don't think Paul sleeps.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't.
Yeah,
in fact,
when
I was talking to him a half an hour ago, he was kind of going into his sleep talking mode, and I think that's what he does. He kind of winds down, but he never gets sleep.
Good. So he will get he'll get like 2 hours time. Okay, good. He'll get something at least. That's nice. It's good. No, I'm glad that's happening. Do you have any feeling how long it's going to take tomorrow? Is this 1 ballot, 2 ballots, 3 ballots?
I'm not even going to try to guess about tomorrow. We've got some word, as you well know, that somebody else might be dropping into the campaign. And if that's true, that might take it an extra round or 2 to get through that.
My gut tells me we're going to have at least 5 people running for VP tomorrow. That's my gut. At least 5. That's what I think.
It could be. It could turn into that. And so, I'm not going to prognosticate. I'm glad I've got the Pragmatist Caucus endorsement, and very, very proud to have you supporting me.
You have my endorsement, my friend. Of course, absolutely. I'm happy.
And, some other wonderful people, and I think I've made a good case for myself over the year. But I'm not going to underestimate the great people that I'm up against. So,
let me be clear. Some people have thought, and I heard this earlier, some people thought that Jo Jorgensen had endorsed you or made a team. She did not. I made you a team. Just so in case anyone's watching.
In your mind.
Yes, right? I just deemed you guys a team. I just did it. So I decided you were a team. I put you all in one thing. If anyone's mad, my fault. I just decided you were a team. Done. That was me.
Your mouth to God's ears.
There we go.
I hope that's the case. And if Joe happens to watch this video, I love you, Joe. You tell me what your favorite bourbon is. I'll be sure to pick up a bottle for you. But
there we go. I love it. Absolutely. So in case anyone gets that, Joe did not endorse anybody. I did it. It's all my fault. Blame me. And I'm happy that I did it. I'm so happy I did it. It's what I think is the right team. And I hope that that's what happens. But as I know you feel the same way. If it's a Jorgensen something else, we'll deal with it, right? We'll deal with it. We'll support the ticket. because we've got to make impact this year.
You know, Larry, if that's the case, we'll be doing tomorrow what you're doing right now, because you had a day that wasn't what you were looking forward to. And look what a gentleman you're being. And this is what we need to be as libertarians. Get rid of the butthurt, get rid of the circular firing squad.
Absolutely.
Let's line up behind the nominees and give them the very best support we can.
100%. Absolutely. 100%. Absolutely. Guys, if you want more information on Ken, head on down to Armstrong2020.com. And what's your Facebook page?
It's on it. You can find it from the website.
Here we go. Just Armstrong2020.com. Heading over there to get more information about his background, what he's thinking, where he is. If you're a delegate, pay attention. Someone you could vote for tomorrow. Right? You can vote for this guy tomorrow.
Ken Armstrong.
That's
on
right.
The first ballot, please, but whatever. Ken Armstrong, yes.
I love it. No, first ballot. You're right. First ballot. Let's do 51% first ballot. I love it. Let's do that.
Look, the poor folks in Hawaii, they've got to be up at like 5 o'clock in the morning to do this thing. Let's make it quick and let them go back to bed.
Absolutely. 100%. 100%. Anything you want to chat about before we take off, Ken?
Well, Larry, you want to tip your hand on anything that you've got coming up, or are you still playing your cards close to the chest? Or
what do you mean? No, I'm doing the same thing I always do. This is what I do. This is what I do now. This is what I do.
All right.
Once it's over, I know what I got to do. I become Mr. Fundraiser again. I've
made a lot of friends in New York. It's one of my favorite states for campaigning now. So when you decide to run for governor again, I've got a house in Buffalo that I like to stay in. My friend Dave Corbett has a fabulous little house in Buffalo that Dawn and I'll stay in, and we'll come pound the pavement for you there.
I love it. I would love to make that happen. Absolutely.
And by the way, for everybody that's listening, I don't care what you do, what your career is, what your hobby is. There is something that you can do to support a local libertarian candidate. For dog catcher, for mayor, for state assembly, for governor, whatever it is, you can find a libertarian candidate in your area and give them your support, and you will make a difference for freedom in our lifetime.
Excellent. Ken, thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for watching. It's late. Go to bed, everybody.
It is very late. All right.
I'll talk to you guys soon.
Night, Larry.
Good night.